Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents What If? 10th Anniversary Edition. Short stories to spark inclusion and diversity dialogue. By Steve L. Robbins, Ph.D. Narrated by David Shih. Preface. Wow. It's been 10 years since the original edition of this book made it to print. My publisher tells me the book has done very well. Maybe that's why this second edition gets a chance at making an impact on audiences' minds and hearts. Thank you to all who purchased the original and have supported me as I continue to do the work of inclusion and diversity. Right now, I bet some of you noticed I didn't write diversity and inclusion. There's a significant reason for the switch. Some folks hearing this will have a quick, involuntary negative reaction to the change. Many won't notice, and some won't care. There will be people who agree wholeheartedly with putting inclusion first and diversity second. Let me offer some of my reasoning for why inclusion should come before diversity. A little background. Since the last edition, I have engaged with the work of inclusion and diversity through extensive study and exciting interactions with clients from all over the world. I have the benefit of coming at the work of inclusion and diversity from the perspective of a social scientist. Many of you know I am a big Michigan State University, Go Green, supporter, having earned my master's and doctorate from its prestigious Department of Communication Science. Fundamentally, I was trained in the art and science of studying human behavior. If you know anything about the field of communication science, it's a relatively new field that grew out of two better-known fields, psychology and sociology. It may be easier to understand if I say that I am a social psychologist who looks at human communication. Moreover, over the last couple of decades, beginning shortly after graduating Michigan State, I took strong interest in the study of the brain and how it processes messages. The catalyst for my interest in the brain grew from trying to understand the factors that may have led my mom to take her own life in 1991. Fundamentally, I was asking, how did external and internal messages have such a negative and devastating impact on my mom? I have since accumulated a lot of knowledge in my brain about the human brain, and so I come at the study of human behavior and inclusion and diversity with the additional lens of a cognitive neuroscientist. The myriad perspectives that I bring to bear on inclusion and diversity have led me to believe that we put the proverbial cart before the horse. Inclusion necessarily comes before diversity. Some people think of me as a diversity expert. I'll be the first to admit I am not such. If I am an expert in anything, it's in human behavior, and I more consider myself a lifelong student of human behavior. In a sense, all of us are students of human behavior, as the human brain is constantly trying to make sense of the world it inhabits, a world with human beings interacting on a daily basis. I just happen to have formal training in it. I examine many aspects of human behavior. In the process, I've learned many things. It just so happens that many of the things I've learned can be applied to an area some call diversity and inclusion. One significant aha for me that I have come to firmly believe is that diversity, which I define as when you have more than one person in the room, is nothing, even problematic, if there is no underlying foundation of belonging or inclusion. Thus, I am an inclusion guy first. Do not interpret that statement to mean that I believe diversity is less important than inclusion. I highly value both inclusion and diversity. However, without an environment that breathes inclusion, we take the breath out of diversity. Put differently, inclusion unleashes the power of diversity. Exclusion is diversity's kryptonite. Consider a relatively homogeneous group of people who don't get along. What do you think might happen if you inject diversity into that group? From an organization performance lens, what you have just done is introduce smart, talented, and skilled people with different experiences and perspectives into an environment that resists them and often blames them for disrupting the organizational order. Increasing diversity numbers might look good, but without a supportive, inclusive foundation, The research suggests the diverse others you parachute in will suffer what researchers call social pain. Yes, current neuroscience research offers a clue as to why those who feel excluded often feel more tired, more anxious, and less productive. Being an outsider without a tribe that values you will light up pain circuitry in your brain. Ouch. Some well-meaning leaders and diversity practitioners, unarmed with the current science that concludes that human beings are hardwired to belong, can actually do more harm when they attack issues of diversity without softening up the beachhead with inclusion. If an organization truly values diversity, it would cultivate a culture of inclusion so that the numbers don't turn people into superficial statistics. Doing inclusion right helps one to rightly do diversity. Please listen to this new edition with the new lens of inclusion and diversity. The 10 new stories come from that perspective. The original stories will also gain new interpretational life with a more updated 21st century lens. As with my keynotes and workshops, I've tried to keep the stories interesting, with a sprinkle of science here, a pinch of emotion there, and a good dose of humor throughout. You'll hear a little about my kids, who are no longer kids. As of this writing, my oldest, Nick, no longer Nicholas, graduated with a degree in actuary science, but chose to follow his mission-oriented heart to teach math overseas. He has a master's in education from that other major university in Michigan. My second son, Zach, no longer Zachary, earned a full-ride scholarship to play golf at a NCAA Division I university and is enjoying his time as a student-athlete. My third son, Jake, no longer Jacob, will be headed to the best university in the world, Michigan State, to pursue a career in science. If I have a favorite kid, it would be Jacob because of his choice of MSU. Just kidding. It's because he's 6'2" and can dunk a basketball. The youngest, my daughter, Natalie, still Natalie, now has her driver's license and finds ways to verbally and non-verbally remind me that I am now the shortest person in our family. I fire back by quoting a line by Mark Twain in response to tall people commenting at his short stature. I feel like a dime among pennies. Ha! My beautiful wife continues to light up my heart and mind as my best friend as she teaches me how to be a better parent. It's a tough job for her, but she's a trained educator. It's going to be a different world for us as pieces of our Robbins tribe are pushing forward to eventually form their own family tribes. But we look forward to spending more time traveling. On our bucket list is to be in attendance at all 4 of the majors in professional tennis. We've gone multiple times to the U.S. Open in the great city of New York, actually Flushing Meadows. If anyone out there has connections to get us tickets to Wimbledon, the Australian Open, and the French Open, I'm right here. So, thanks for all your support. I hope to see you during my travels and attempts to spread the message about inclusion and diversity, but mostly about the power of caring for people, especially those you may not initially find to be much like you. If I happen to be a speaker at your organization or at an event that you also happen to be attending, please say hello. It's always good to have a tribe that cares about you, and especially a tribe that might have members who can get us into some major tennis tournaments. My story. As I continue to travel around the globe, working with various organizations and businesses, I am often asked if I get tired of doing this work, of this thing some have called diversity and inclusion. My response is a balanced one. Yes and no, I say. The travel and being away from my family are always difficult, and some of the people I encounter in my travels just don't seem willing or able to embrace the idea that they actually live in a diverse world with diverse perspectives. They can't seem to give up old 20th century patterns that don't work so well in the 21st century. People like that can at times make the work tiresome. So, on the one hand, yes, I do get tired. On the other hand, I do not. I am energized and sustained by the caring people I meet who support me in this life calling that became clear to me in a crucible of cruelty. It is from that crucible
Sample complete. Ready to continue?